Hi everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Crackheadaholics. This is episode 16. And I just realized, actually I just really genuinely just realized that it's been 3 months. Um Not that anyone cares, but sorry. I just totally forgot. I've been really wanting to record an episode for a very long time. I'm just like, not today, not today. I don't feel like today. And today's the day. 3 months later. I think it's exactly 90 days since my last episode. Anyways, today we're gonna talk about something a bit more serious. And as usual, it'll be a blabber. If you've heard any of my other episodes, you know how we blabber in this household. Part of it, at least. Actually, I wrote this script quite a long time ago. I think I wrote this in July, and a lot of things has changed then. What English, Aisha? A lot of things has changed since then, and I have a lot to say. Actually, I don't have a lot to say. I'm just gonna blabber, and if you are here to listen to my blabber, then feel free, welcome. Anyways, trigger warning. This episode is gonna talk about a little bit of abuse and things like that. So if you're easily triggered, just click away. That's fine too. Anyways, I'll just get started. So back in, I want to say in July is where my mental health peaked, as in in a good way. I felt amazing. Everything was going really well. Compared to now, it's not that I don't think I am worse or anything. It's just I feel like I regressed a bit, though that is not true. I think we know that progress isn't linear. There's going to be ups and downs, and this is just a down that I'm feeling right now. So back then I was just really, I don't want to say happy, because that's not the word I want to use. I wasn't always happy. It's just I am just really happy with where I am right now, with where my mental health is and was. And I usually feel really grateful that I got to this point, because I don't think I would have felt this way 10 years ago when everything started going downhill for me. And I'm happy about it. So, a little backstory is I didn't really grow up in a very supportive household. Things weren't great. Typical brown Indian parents stuff. My parents were kind of terrible. They didn't know how to raise a child, and I was going through puberty, and they didn't know how to deal with that, and I became this problem child, and everything was changing, and my parents didn't know how to deal with that, and I didn't know how to deal with that, and I had no support. And it wasn't the best place for a child like myself to grow up in, so that affected my mental health a lot for a very, very, very long time. And I hated myself. I just hated existing. I just didn't want to exist. Not that I wanted to die, but I just hated being present. I was insecure about my existence, and I find that really sad. I still am insecure, but I not that much anymore, but I am sad for young me for feeling that way. And I was also bullied in school. Kids, right? Socially abused, physically abused, and emotionally abused, and all that amazing jazz, right? So I didn't have a good mental health to start with. And then now I feel like it's not the case anymore. I think I've gotten to a point where I don't hate myself anymore. Before, I used to look in the mirror and I'm just like, ew, oh my god, in a very bad way. Now I'm just like, whoa, oh my god, in a very good way. I used to really, now it's more not negative talk anymore in the mirror. I think I really like myself now, physically and mentally, where before I'd be like, oh, I hate this, I hate that. And now I'm just like, whoa, what I hated before is something that I really like now. For example, my hands and my feet. Not that I'm into feet, but my before I used to really hate the look of my hands, but now I really like them. And same goes to my feet. Again, I'm not into feet. I'm into my own feet. So I used to hate how my feet looked, so I would just cover them up and never like take my socks off or anything. But now I just don't care. I'm like, whatever, it looked good anyway. And the negative self-talk just reduced, I would say. And there are a few things that helped me with this, I think, personally. I think one of the biggest factors was the fact that I moved away from home. Not completely, but I'm only home for like 2 days, maybe 3 days a week, because I am lucky enough and I'm grateful for this that I have a accommodation given to me under my scholarship, that I'm able to stay on campus and not at home. So that helped a lot. I think it's one of the biggest factors that helped my mental health a lot, is it because staying away from home means less noise, and the noise in my head also started reducing. I think that's the word to use, the noise in your head, because I had a lot of noise in my head. My brain didn't know how to shut up, but especially with the negative talk. But after I left, it just quieted down. It took a very long time to do that though. And then it also helped that I had to relearn a lot of things and teach myself a lot of things, and have to do a lot of things on my own, which kind of put me and my social anxiety in a very bad position. But I had to overcome it anyway, because I had to live that way, and that helped a lot. And it's not, how do I say this? It wasn't fun, but it helped. And a few other things that I managed to learn, I guess. I don't think this is big news or new news, but it is something. Is where I stopped kind of relying on others for my happiness. I think I used to do that a lot, where I didn't stop completely, I would say. I just reduced it, and I kind of brought the attention to myself, and also brought the entire issue upon to myself, like, hey, don't do that. That is making you happy, sure, but like that is also making you sad. And I kind of identified the things that made me sad, and I tried my best to like stop it. I'm still working on it. I still am working on it, but it's something that I think sitting down and analyzing what is it that is affecting you so much might help. Again, everything I say is easier said than done. You can't just move out now, can you? I know that, and it's upsetting for most people, at least. But yeah, and another thing is that I think, at least for me, is this: I refuse to help myself. In a sense, I whenever something happened, I always blame myself, and I don't help myself. It's because I thought that would be a form of punishment. Helping myself would be what am I saying? What I mean is, if I don't help myself, that would be punishment, and I needed that punishment because whatever I was doing was wrong or something like that. But I think I managed to get out of that bubble, mostly because the situation that you may be in is probably not your fault. Very unlikely that it is. Your anxiety, your depression, all that. And it's unfair, but to get out of that situation that you were put in, that wasn't your fault, to get out of it is still in your hands. You have to do it. No one else will. No one else is going to help you do it. You might have a support system, but it's you who has to want it, and it's you who has to do it. And I think realizing that is what helped me, because before I was like, oh, I can't, I feel like this because of this, and I can't do anything about it because it's not my control. I think I came up with really good excuses on why I was the way I am and why I was this sad and stuff like that. Am I making any sense? Oh my god. But I've come to a point where I'm like, this is not my fault, but I have to do it anyway. I have to help myself anyway. I don't want to spend so much time doing it, but it is what it is. In this situation, I hate that phrase, it is what it is, but in this situation, I will use it. So putting effort into helping yourself and having a good support system, of course, will help. So it's a step-by-step process, and I think it's a really, 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 really slow one. And I think you have to be really, really patient with yourself. And coming to that is one of the things that I want to bring up is that recently, for the past few weeks, I have been feeling very down, and in my head, I'm beating myself up because I was like, well, I thought I got better because I genuinely did get better. I was really happy and I was really content. I don't want to say happy again. Nothing is happening. I'm just content with my life. I'm just like, I like where I am. And then all of a sudden, I'm just like down in the drains. And I'm like, why am I like this? I thought I improved. And I kept beating myself up. I'm like, it's my own fault that I feel sad now. And I'm just like, progression is not linear. And I can have bad days just how I can have good days. And there's a lot of things that kind of like affects my mental health. And I am like trying not to let it, but some things just don't go away, like my insecurity and like how I don't want to be a burden to other people, and how it's so hard for me to make friends. I think I still find that really hard. I think I find it really hard to like connect with people. I sometimes I just really just want to go out and make friends, but I can't. It's hard. It's annoying, and I still haven't really done that. And every time I do that, I kind of get scared. I'm like, well, what if they leave? And so that is, I'm like, what if they can't handle me and leave, as if I'm someone special or whatever. And so there's a lot of things that go on in my mind, and I'm not having a good day today either. I just a lot of thoughts came back, and I'm just like, I wouldn't say struggling, but I'm just not having a good time here. And that's okay. It's okay to go up on the mountain and then accidentally fall back a few steps. I think that's okay. And I keep telling myself that because I keep beating myself up for regressing when regression is normal. So, yeah. There's a lot more that I can talk about this. Really? This is a very short episode, huh? A short one. There's a lot more I can talk about this, but my brain is in scrambles, and I have a really good script, but I just don't want to read it now. I will create a part 2 on this when I am actually in my right mind. But we'll get to that. I think the takeaway, if you're listening till the end, wow, thank you. But the takeaway is to be kinder to yourself, and it's okay to give yourself time to heal, and it's okay to forgive yourself if you regress, and it's okay to feel the way you feel, but it's not okay to just let it go and to not help yourself. I think that's not okay. So if you have the energy and if you have the want to, you should definitely. I wanted to talk more about my anxiety and stuff like that, but that's for another day. And yeah. Anyways, thank you for listening. This is a very short one. Thank you for listening. I'll catch you guys in the next one.